Austin,
Caleb,
how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
It feels like Wednesday today, I tell you what.
Wow. What a quinky dink that it does not feel like a Wednesday to me.
Why is that?
Oh, it's that Family Guy.
Oh.
It doesn't feel like a Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. That's not what I was going for, but yeah.
Hey, Austin, you have both your hands available.
I do have both my hands available.
Mm. It's upgrades. Yet last time
Kind of upgrades. It's more just a swapping.
Yeah, because last time I did it, and not gonna lie, the audio didn't turn out very well, but it still works.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's unfortunate.
Mhm.
But it's not going to be prevalent in this episode, but there are some improvements coming.
Yup, Christmas has treated this podcast very well.
Santa Claus came through.
Into season 2 of the podcast, and around here and around Austin, you might get a little darker, but better.
Mm-hmm. Some foam.
Yeah, some foam. Maybe behind the camera too. Who knows? Oh.
Did you end up getting a second stand?
Yeah,
arm?
I just set it up.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I thought we'd be a lot less busy. But holy moly.
Having holidays during the week really throws a wrench into everything.
Yeah, like I just got back into the gym and I could not go to the gym or I couldn't go every day of the week for like 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah, no, it's nice to finally get some routine back.
Mm-hmm.
Even all the back-to-back. See, that's the most annoying thing is if Christmas and New Year's both fell on Friday, it's like whatever. But no, it's Thursday.
Hey, this year though.
Yeah,
a whole year away, but it falls on a Friday, Christmas and New Year's. I didn't realize too that Christmas and New Year's are exactly a week from each other.
Oh yeah,
that's like crazy. That's awesome.
Hey, and Caleb every year.
Yeah, every year.
It doesn't change.
Crazy.
I suppose. Happy New Year.
Yeah, probably Happy New Year. Yeah,
I think it's Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's been a week. Yeah, we're recording this about a week after New Year, but yeah, Happy New Year.
Yeah, because the last time we talked to everybody, I think it was, that episode hasn't been uploaded yet.
No,
I guess.
We're doing a 2-parter, just because I've been so. I totally thought I'd be like way less busy.
Yeah,
but it just kept going and going and going.
Well, and then we thought we were going to record this one a few days earlier, and then we both ended up going on a trip on vacation separately,
but to the same place.
Yeah,
which is such a coincidence.
Yes, we were going to record this Our original plan was like last Friday?
Yeah, I think so.
And then it was like, well, maybe not. We're not fully prepared. It's like, well, I can't do it on the weekend because we both ended up going to the cities.
Mm-hmm.
The cities, for those that aren't from where we are, is Minneapolis and St. Paul. We just call them
Minnesota.
In Minnesota. Because I went to the Vikings game with my younger brothers, and you initially went down there because
my girlfriend's friend, his birthday, and so we went down there to celebrate that, and then we just randomly got Vikings tickets.
And so it was kind of funny. Like I knew you were gonna be there, but it's US Bank Stadium and it seats like 60,000 people. So there's just so much commotion going on. And I was walking around with my younger brothers, just observing, just walking, doing nothing in particular. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's this bag of stuff that's just thrown in my face. Scared the crap out of me. I was like, oh, hi, Caleb. Where did you come from?
That's so funny, too, because I swear you look straight at me. And then I thought you were doing like a bit of just like not like noticing me. So I went, whoosh. And you went, oh, no, hey.
No, I whenever I'm walking through a crowd of people, like you essentially what you did, like you have to yell my name or come up to me because all my brain energy is just trying to figure out how to get through the people. everybody there is just a nameless and faceless person.
God, that was insane. Just I've been through crowds. It was like you're in stop and go traffic at some points.
And it's for a game that didn't even matter.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Like that's what I was getting told.
Yeah,
I was like, wow, but it was cool to see it.
hey, the Vikings won, Skol. So
Yeah.
that's all that matters. We were sat on like complete opposite sides of each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Just very, exact opposite.
Yeah.
But hey, welcome to Balls and Blasters.
Welcome back, Balls and Blasters, episode 19.
19. Thank God, I forgot what episode we were on. So thank you for remembering.
Yeah, I usually, for my notes, I usually look at the YouTube, but we're an episode behind on YouTube, so I was like, I have to like hope my notes are right because I just label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But so I was like, I think it's episode 19, and then I was looking at our whiteboard. It
adds up. It
adds up. So episode 19, Balls and Blasters.
Mm-hmm.
We're back, which will make sense once the other episode releases.
We've been on a hiatus.
We're here. Yeah. Consistency is definitely something that we will strive to improve.
Not our strong suit currently.
No. We were really good at it for a while, but we'll get back to it. Most importantly, never fear. It's not like we're getting tired of it. It's just life happens.
Yeah, we're trying to find time for it.
But I've got a topic that I'm excited I'm excited to talk about today. I know Caleb always comes with the goods. So
I got a good one today.
I suppose we could just dive right on in. We've done enough of explaining.
Yeah, preambles.
I think people just want to hear us talk about what they came here to see.
All right. Well, shall we do a rock, paper, scissors match on shoot?
I think we probably could.
All right.
All right.
And for the audio listeners, I got a ring. It's not a wedding ring. It's an Aura ring. It tracks. So I'm not engaged.
A Christmas gift.
Yes, a Christmas gift. All right. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh,
you're kidding me.
I won again. Shocker, I know. Paper over or scissors over paper. Caleb, my memory isn't always the best at these things, but I'm pretty sure the last 3 times I've beaten you with a scissor over a paper.
Let's see. Yes, and I don't even remember what I throw out.
Oh gosh.
So, but I just feel like paper. Do you know like most people will throw out a rock though? Like rock is the most common thing to throw out.
I believe that.
And that's why I'm so used. Oh God, guys, if you didn't hear, I'd probably cut this out. I just pulled my back today too, so any movement from me is gonna hurt, or I'm gonna be groaning maybe.
The gym grind is real.
It really is. Oh, and by the way, before we get started, that New Year's like people going to the gym is so real.
Well, I especially probably because you go to Planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you that place is
insane.
bad for it.
It's cheap, whatever. So it's easy to like just go in and get it. So yeah, it's insanely busy. But now that I've been going consistently now for about 2 months now.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of nice. I have like people who go at the same time as me that like I kind of like I don't know any of their names, but like I was just like give little head nods to like it's the same people every time. It's kind of cool.
That's me at the Y.
Yeah.
Of course, I've been going to the Y for many years at this point. But sorry, I had to burp. Which is kind of crazy. I guess the YMCA isn't like a New Year's resolution kind of gym because it's just the same people.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, Planet Fitness has like a crowd meter, and the only time it's ever like at 2 is like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, right after 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's like typical. Today it was at a 4, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like that's like a lot of people there. But then you go in, and it's like everybody's on the treadmill. There's not a treadmill that's not used. But which is also I hate treadmills are urinal rules, and I hate that. And like every time it's been like almost every time I needed to use a treadmill, like by myself, I've had to go next to somebody, and I absolutely hate it.
Would urinal rules be considered boy logic?
I feel like girls can understand urinal rules. I feel like they understand urinal.
I've had to explain it to more than one female in my life.
I think they understand it. I think they get the gist of it. Like, hey, you just don't want to stand next to somebody.
Right. But no, that's big facts though. You try to always go one over, and it annoys me when if you see one person at one treadmill and there's no one else, and then the next person comes along and they go two
It's like no, go one. You go one because then the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people live by their own rules, I guess. Rebels to society.
All right, Austin, what do you have for us today?
I feel so professional. I feel like a proper sports talk host. I'm excited for this. Judging by my attire, I think we can all guess what we're going to talk about today. Caleb, I am not a Duke football fan. I am not a Duke baseball fan. I'm not a Duke hockey fan. I don't think Duke has hockey. If they do, shout out. But they do have basketball. Duke does have basketball. I know everybody's moaning. How are you a Duke basketball fan? JJ Redick, okay? If you know, you know. Duke is very well known for their superstar freshmen that always stay at Duke for 1 year, and then they go to the league, they get drafted. Some become superstars, some eat copious bowls of chili and get hurt all the time.
Yeah, and then
Zion.
And then I say breakthrough shoes.
Breakthrough shoes. That was so crazy. What I'm trying to get at, Caleb, is Duke is become basically the poster child for the one and done era in the sport of basketball. One and done. College prospects come to college for 1 year, and then they leave to go play professional basketball. So, what I want to talk about today, Caleb, is kind of twofold. NBA draft eligibility, the one and done era. I want to describe what that is. I want to talk about how we got here. So some history, some facts. And then I kind of want to give my opinion on all this because I think it's interesting. And it's, I think it ties into NIL and the transfer portal, all that stuff, which are hot button topics in the college sports world these days. So, Caleb, unless you have any comments you'd like to give.
I remember 3 to 4 years ago, the only basketball games I would watch was when you guys would watch them, and they were Duke games.
Yes, myself and our buddy Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Mike was a huge Zion Williamson fan. Still is a huge Zion Williamson fan. And I've been a Duke fan my whole life. And so when Mike found out that Zion was going to Duke, he's like, dude, we got to get together and watch all these Duke games. I was like, I'm in.
Mm-hmm. And then I would also be there.
Yeah. And you got to get a little taste of what we're about to talk about today. So let's rock and roll.
Yes.
We'll start off with way back in the day, original draft eligibility for the NBA. Now, back in the NBA started in, I don't know, 80, 90 years ago, something like that. And they used to have this rival. It used to be the NBA and the ABA, the National Basketball Association, the American Basketball Association. The National Basketball Association had a really weird rule where you were not eligible for the NBA draft until you were 8 years removed from high school. I want to make sure, 8 years removed from high school.
So you'd be like at least, what is that, like 26 years old?
Yeah. Not only would you be done with college, but like
you'd like have a career going.
Right. Like I'm 4 years removed from college, you know, and I think back in these days I'm like pretty close to becoming eligible for the NBA draft, which is crazy to think about, you know, and I'm 25.
Actually, 2 years removed from college. 3.
3. Yeah, I'm 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I graduated.
2 to 3.
Yeah. Whatever. Point being, I said almost. So, eight years removed from high school, then you were eligible for the NBA draft. Well, this all changed because in 1968, there was a man by the name of Spencer Haywood who would go on to challenge these eligibility rules for the NBA. He graduated from high school in 1968. He played 1 year of junior college basketball, and then he transferred to the University of Detroit to play another year of major college basketball. and then he left college to go join the ABA, the American Basketball Association, which was the main rival of the NBA at the time. Now, the American Basketball Association, their rules in order to go to their draft and play in the ABA was you had to be 4 years removed from high school. So essentially, play 4 years of college basketball, then you can go play in the ABA. Well, obviously, Mr. Spencer Haywood was only 2 years removed, but he was able, the ABA would hand out hardship exemptions, which is if you could prove that you weren't making enough money and you needed this job to live and provide, they would provide you a hardship exemption. You could play in the American Basketball Association. Haywood got one of those. Spencer Haywood would play 1 season in the ABA for the Denver Rockets, who would eventually become the Denver Nuggets in the NBA. And it went well for Mr. Haywood. He was not only the Rookie of the Year, but he was the MVP for the ABA. And the only problem is Haywood claimed that he'd been defrauded by his team and by the league, basically saying that they didn't pay him the money that they said he was going to get when he signed his contract. And so he refused to fulfill his contract. I think the legal term is like repudiated or something like that. It's a big word.
Some legal nonsense.
Some legal nonsense. Essentially, the team he was playing for didn't fulfill their end of the agreement, so Spencer Haywood said, I'm not going to fill my end of the agreement. Contract over. Well, the Seattle Supersonics realized this, and were like, that guy's good at basketball. We want him on my team. Now, the Seattle Supersonics are in the NBA. The Supersonics would, of course, become the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Of course.
Of course. So Haywood signs a deal with the Supersonics at the age of 21. So again, we're 3 years removed, which is not even close to NBA draft eligibility. Now, it's a weird thing because does he just sign the free agent deal? Does he have to go into the draft? It's a weird time with all that stuff. But the NBA threatened to disallow this contract between Haywood and the Supersonics, and they would impose sanctions on the Supersonics for doing what essentially the NBA deemed illegal. Haywood filed an antitrust lawsuit against the NBA, and he wanted to seek an injunction with this lawsuit going on. The injunction would essentially allow Haywood to play basketball for the Supersonics while the legal stuff figured itself out on the side. Eventually, the case reached the U.S. Supreme Court.
Dang.
And the U.S. Supreme Court issued a 7-2 decision in favor of Haywood in 1971. So then, so Haywood gets to play basketball. He gets to fulfill his contract with the Supersonics. And with this decision, the NBA essentially was forced to do the same thing that the ABA did in the sense of providing hardship exemptions. So if you can prove that this is you need this job and you're good enough for this job, we could file an exemption. You can play in the NBA. Well, this essentially just turned into every guy that completed 4 years of college would go to the NBA and be like, I'm good enough to play here and I need this money. So there's just a lot of exemptions filed, and it was just kind of a waterfall effect. It was just...
Okay, so it's basically like he opened the floodgates.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yes. So, now with this, it was initially just, guys would complete college, because that was the thing. You go play 4 years of college, then you go try to play professional basketball. But because of Haywood's decision and the NBA now allowing hardship exemptions, this turned into high schoolers graduating and saying, I don't want to go play college basketball. I'm good enough to play pro right now. So now high schoolers were filing for hardship exemptions. They were getting them. And now high schoolers were jumping directly from high school to the National Basketball Association.
That's not super common now, right?
It is not common now at all. But for a while, it was very common. So, after 1971, after that decision, Haywood v. NBA, there was a few high schoolers that jumped. They weren't really notable. The first two notable jumps from high school to the NBA happened in 1975. Daryl Dawkins, he spent 14 years in the league, and Bill Willoughby spent 8 years in the league. Pretty impressive for an 18-year-old kid to be like, I can go play pro, and they stick around for a while. So good for them. Those were the first two big cases of this. But it stopped for about 2 decades. There was no high schoolers really. Again, it kind of shifted back to NBA teams thinking, well, these high schoolers just aren't mature enough and physically developed enough to succeed in the league. So essentially, they stopped signing high schoolers or drafting them, which forced them to go to college and, go the traditional route of getting drafted into the NBA. Until 20 years later, in 1995, when two men, I should say, before 1995, there was two guys, Lloyd Daniels and Sean Kemp. They enrolled in college, never competed in college, and then just bypassed and went to the NBA instead. So they kind of jumped from high school to the NBA. But in 1995, a trend started, Caleb. The high schoolers were just a little bit different than they used to be. Humans got better at training and developing, and some specimens were coming through the high school ranks.
Is one of them the GOAT?
Depending on who you call the GOAT, it could be.
Okay.
Yes. 1995. A man by the name of Caleb, I think you should know this one. A man by the name of Kevin Garnett.
I do know Kevin Garnett. Yes.
Was taken 5th overall directly out of high school, which was definitely a controversial decision at the time. Very controversial. Kevin Garnett's story is fantastic. Shout out to the Timberwolves for finally getting their stuff solved with Kevin Garnett. So bringing him back into the fold, retiring his number, all that. 1996, another guy you've probably heard of, Caleb, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I have heard of Kobe Bryant. Yes,
he jumped from high school to the NBA. He was a first-round pick, and that same exact first round in 1996 was also a man by the name of Jermaine O'Neal. You might remember this guy, not related to Shaq, but you might remember this guy because he was part of the Malice at the Palace.
Oh, yes.
So he jumped from high school and became a first-round draft pick. And then essentially from 96 on up until 2004, there was multiple high schoolers every year taken in the NBA draft. 1997, there was Tracy McGrady, if you've heard of him.
These all sound so familiar.
I'm happy you recognize them at least. I'm just going through some notable ones here. 2001 was...
The GOAT?
No. Kwame Brown. He was the very first high schooler to go first overall. So important. And then 2002 is Amari Stoudemire. I'm assuming you probably haven't heard of him, but he was a really good big man, Hall of Famer. 2003, Caleb.
The GOAT!
A man by the name of LeBron James became the second high schooler to go number 1 overall, straight out of high school.
He's the only one that I know that went straight from high school to professional.
Very publicized.
Yeah.
And then the very next year, a third high schooler went number 1 overall, a man by the name of Dwight Howard.
I know who Dwight Howard is.
Stupa man is in the building. If you know, you know. So essentially, there's a decade span here where high schoolers, like these are names. These are names. These guys, they won MVPs, All NBAs, All-Star games, bunch of points, bunch of stats, Hall of Famers. It's kind of a case of, well, these high schoolers are right. These teams are correct for drafting these guys. Look at who they became, you know. However, like I said, multiple high schoolers were getting drafted, and these are just some of the success stories. Not all of them work out. Not all the one and dones work out. Not all the 4-year players work out. That's just kind of life. That's how it works. But this influx of high schoolers became controversial. Specifically, David Stern, the commissioner of the NBA at the time, publicly stated and vouched for the fact that he thought the age minimum for the NBA draft should be 20, which would essentially be you need to spend 2 years in college, and then you can go get drafted. David Stern wanted scouts and GMs of professional teams out of the high school scene, and Stern believed that too many people saw the NBA as a viable option for financial stability and to fame, essentially, which it was a two-sided coin. One, I think people can understand where he's coming from. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket and just hope the NBA works out. There were some high schoolers who we have to remember now are mostly inner city kids that think this is a shot at them personally, saying that they can't. Limiting their options forward is essentially how some of these guys viewed Stern's comments. The player eventually around 2005-ish, I believe, the players' union in the NBA agreed to an age minimum of 19. The players' union did not want to, because the players' union was okay with 18. Like, let's just get these high schoolers in here. They've proven they could do it, but they essentially, compromised on the age of 19. And two basic rules came about. Remember we talked about collective bargaining agreements, the episode that's going to come out for Major League Baseball. The NBA CBA, there's two basic rules when it comes to draft eligibility. You must be at least 19 years old during the calendar year of the draft, and any player who is not an international player, air quotes, as defined in the CBA, must be at least 1 year removed from high school graduation. And it's important to note that this is in addition to being 19. So you need to be 1 year removed from your high school graduation and 19.
Okay. So both have to be true for you to
enter the draft. Yes. David Stern believed these rules were important. He believed players needed to play against higher caliber competition in order to be properly evaluated, which I think, again, is a fair point on his part. This rule that came into effect in 2006 essentially mandated go to 1 year of college, at least. Got to go through 1 year of college, which started... It wasn't super prevalent back then, but it essentially started the one and done era.
Which is what Duke is known for, right?
Correct. And Duke is mostly known for it now. Kentucky basketball also really, really well known for this under John Calipari. I'd almost argue they started it. But Duke was no saint in that fact either. They were two programs that were just trying to stockpile all the potential first-round picks they could. And we'll get into more opinionated stuff like that in a second here. So Stern believed these rules were important, higher caliber of competition, proper evaluation. The rule effectively mandated high schoolers go to 1 year of college, starting the one-and-done era. Of note, the Players Union, people affiliated with college basketball, have tried to get this age minimum lowered several times throughout the years. They wanted to go back to 18. They've tried it, but it just never goes anywhere. And also, it became common for high school prospects to reclassify. I tried to figure, because the NBA rules state you need to be a year removed from graduation and at least 19. And I couldn't figure out why, but essentially, like a perfect example of this is just happened. Cooper Flagg, speaking of Duke basketball, Cooper Flag, he was the number 1 overall pick. Yeah, number 1 overall pick in last year's draft, went to the Dallas Mavericks. He reclassified, which essentially means he graduated high school a year early. So he graduated at 17 instead of 18, and then went to play 1 year of college basketball at Duke. And he turned 18 that year, and then he entered the draft. Then, so players reclassify essentially to get to the NBA sooner, to make money quicker. And again, I apologize. I couldn't figure out why that's technically allowed.
Yeah. Say, he's not 19.
Right. So, well, here, let me go back here. Must be at least 19. So, I'm wondering if it's because, so like, the NBA draft happened earlier this year, and I believe Cooper Flag turns so I'm speaking in 2025 terms. The NBA draft happened early in the year, but he turned 19 later in the year. Maybe that's what it is. Turning 19 during the calendar year maybe counts. Again, I couldn't really find that, but that's my guess anyways. That's not the point of the... Anyways, this NBA draft stuff, the eligibility has changed like 8 times over its history, so it's kind of a fluid thing. Some other quick things about NBA draft eligibility. I mentioned international player in air quotes. According to the CBA that the NBA has, an international player has to meet all this criteria, being they permanently reside outside of the United States for 3+ years while playing basketball outside of the United States. They can never have enrolled in a U.S. college or university, and they did not complete high school in the United States. Those are the criteria for an international player.
That's really odd.
Yeah. So if there's a kid from, I don't know, Spain that comes over and plays his senior year of college or plays a freshman year of basketball for a college, he's technically, under the CBA, not an international player. But when he gets to the NBA and he gets listed on an NBA team roster, the NBA roster will label him as an international player. So just, again, weird.
Just semantics.
Yeah, it really is. It's just all about who's eligible, how'd you get eligible, all that stuff. This is not super popular anymore. It gained a little bit of traction, for 5-10 years ago, but some high school graduates will opt to go overseas and play professionally instead of going to college. Again, it still follows the rule. Since they graduated from high school, they're not international players, but, be 19, you're removed from high school, you're eligible. The reason some guys would do this is because you essentially, when you go overseas to play professionally, basketball is your whole life. You play games, you practice, that's all you do. Whereas if you go spend 1 year in college, you play some games, you practice sometimes, but you have to balance a whole college lifestyle.
You have to actually do the studying and tests,
right, or
and classes.
Allegedly do the studying and tests. And so some people went overseas, were like, this is better for growth, yada, yada, yada. To each their own, whatever's best for you kind of thing. This used to be a more attractive thing until name, image, and likeness, NIL, paying players became a thing. Now it's like, why would I go overseas when I could just get paid to play 1 year of college here? So that is my little history, factoids of NBA eligibility up until now, how we get to the one and done era. Caleb, do you have any comments thus far?
I didn't realize it was so recent that all these kind of rules changed too.
Yeah.
It's you have, there was a point where you could go right out of high school when within 20 years.
Right.
Or almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's nope, you gotta have that one little bit.
Right. We were a few years old when LeBron got drafted, out of high school. All right. Now I kind of have some thoughts and some opinions on this current one and done era. of basketball, college, NBA, and the like. First of all, I want to compare and contrast a little bit. NBA draft eligibility, got to be 19, year removed from high school graduation. NFL draft eligibility, you need to be essentially 3 years removed from high school graduation. So you got to be you got to be in college for 3 years, and then you can become draft eligible.
Oh, so you're a lot of people are like finishing college or just about.
Pretty much,
Okay.
yes. Which I think that could be part of it. I think the obvious difference that everybody can understand here is you probably need to be more physically developed to play
Mm,
a physical sport like football,
mm,
whereas the NBA has proven that 18, 19-year-olds can thrive in the league.
mm.
It's a non-contact sport, right? Contrast this with baseball, where you can, right out of high school, you can sign with a professional team and just start your professional career, no questions asked.
But that is a little different though. From what I remember, is that a lot of these people will go to like the lower levels of
Mhm.
teams and stuff.
Which is, yes, correct.
Mhm.
And I think that's, again, the compare and contrasting, yes, some of these young kids that maybe go to the NBA too early, maybe they end up in the G League, which is the minor league of basketball, where, which is not what they want to do. It's not encouraged
Mhm.
to have that be your career path. But of course, in baseball, that is encouraged. Like that's how you have to do it. You will very, very, very rarely will you ever see a teenager playing and succeeding in Major League Baseball. It just doesn't happen very often.
Mhm.
Rather ironically, the last two guys I can think of off the top of my head that had real success were Juan Soto and Bryce Harper, both for the Washington Nationals.
They know how to pick them young.
Yeah, I guess. But again, baseball is just a sport where that really doesn't happen very often. And it's encouraged to get into pro ball as soon as you can so you can start building your way up. So there's some compare and contrast in there. I want to talk about college roster construction. College basketball has changed so much since even 15 years ago. It's like as recently as 15 years ago, it was very common for every basketball school to want to build and construct a roster that, of guys that are gonna stick around
Mhm.
for 3-4 years, because that's just how you won in college basketball for decades. Are you old, and are these old guys talented?
Mhm.
That's how you won. Whereas now, there's a lot of schools, not just Duke and Kentucky, who kind of started it, but lots of schools that want to go after these top overall picks. And it's kind of like I don't want to say a cheat code, but it certainly is a faster avenue to maybe some quick success. And it's certainly, if you have a high potential draft pick on your team, you certainly get a lot of exposure, a lot more eyeballs on your team, which can open up avenues for other players that maybe want to go to your school. So it's an interesting balance between, for anybody who watches college basketball a lot, yes, these one and done players, they're very, very good.
Mhm.
And they put up stats and they win a lot of basketball games. But I'll be the first to tell you that most teams that win the NCAA national championship don't always have the first round draft picks on them. That they have a senior, junior laden squad that knows how to win.
Yeah. You kind of want to find that balance between like good players and like decent players.
Right.
Almost.
And that's what college coaches are trying to do.
Mhm.
And there are some people who have the opinion out there that you can't win a national championship with one and done players. Kentucky did it. They had some dude named Anthony Davis and another guy named Devin Booker.
I know Devin Booker.
Pretty good at
personally.
basketball. Not, We're not friends. I just follow him on everything. No.
I got beat on 2K once, and the person who was playing against me only used Devin Booker. Well, that was a whole team.
You get cooked.
Devin Booker scored 67 points on me. I scored 3.
Oof. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Further proving, no. So Kentucky's won a national championship with one and done players. That was, I don't know if that was 2012 maybe. 2015, Duke won a national championship with 3 one and done starters on their team. Kentucky's 2012 team, I think it was 2012, also had a few one and done starters. So it's been proven that you can win with these types of players. And I think really the overarching point here is that it's college basketball, it's March Madness, it's one and done. Anything is possible. Anything can happen. The most talented, most well-rounded teams always end up at the end. That's just how it is. But there are still several avenues to get there, and we're talking about 18 to 22-year-old kids. Like, you can't predict what's going to go on there. I also think there's, when it comes to this idea of one and done, like I said, as a Duke fan, all these one and dones that have come through, I love them. They're great. They're so fun to watch. It's so fun to see them move on to the league and see them succeed and be like, hey, that guy went to Duke. That's cool. But they don't leave a legacy anymore. You know, like they might win some awards, which is really cool, but none of these guys are going to get their jersey retired, you know, or
it's like kind of just like that next stepping stone for like them and everybody else.
Right. And it's not their fault. That's the NBA literally told them, you need to go to college for 1 year and then you can come play for us. So the kids are like, fine, we'll go play 1 year, but then we're going to the league. And, you know, colleges kind of suffer from that. And if you get a coaching staff that goes all in on like, we're going to build around this one and done guy and we're going for it all, and then you don't win anything and the kid leaves and now you're stuck with a bunch of decent players but not a good team, you know, not enough talent, then you're kind of like, so again, it goes back to balancing your roster. How do you do that? You know, it's a new roster every year, and this is only, you know, accentuated by the transfer portal now, where anybody can transfer whenever they want, essentially. You know, and that's actually kind of the next thing I want to talk about is the NIL and the transfer portal. Are these one and dones choosing your school because it's your school and they want to play for you? Or are they choosing it because you offer them the most money, the most playing time?
Because they can earn money now.
Right. You know, again, it's not the kids' fault. I want to reiterate that. This is nothing on the kids. It's just, this is the environment they're thrust into. You know, I understand wanting to go make a bunch of money. Why wouldn't you? You know? But it's certainly, as a fan of college basketball, it becomes hard to, like, if like Duke was playing Louisville last night in college basketball, and I don't know who the hell is on their roster because it changes all the goddamn time, you know, which there's an element of expectation and, you know, knowing what you're going to get that just doesn't exist anymore. Is it good? Is it bad? I guess that's an opinion that anybody can have, you know, but it just, it's really, it just, I don't know. It's cool to know that, like, oh, we got these guys coming up and we know how good they are and we know what we have to do, versus it's a mixed bag every time out. And I'm sure it's stressful for college coaches too, not knowing, you know, what the next year is going to bring.
Also too, it's like these one and done kids, they need to go somewhere.
Right.
And so like, are you going to be the one school that like wants to take them and like take that like risk of, okay, after this year, there might not be like another person that's as good as them. So
right.
We have to build around them.
And that's why I mentioned earlier that Duke has become like the poster child for this, because that's what Duke has done. You know, it might not be in the exact correct order here, but it was Jabari Parker, it was Brandon Ingram, it was Jason Tatum, It was Zion, RJ, and Cam Reddish. All three came together. It was Marvin Bagley and Wendell Carter Jr. It was drawing a blank here. There's another big man. There's Vernon Carey Jr. Recently Cooper Flagg. This year it's Cam Boozer. Like, these are all one and done guys, and Duke does this every single year, you know. And like I said, it's great for the school because it gives you some guaranteed short-term success, probably, if the kid actually is as good as they say he is. But then, you know, your one and dones are gone, and now it's a whole new team, and you have to rebuild team chemistry. You know, that's what made some teams, you know, in the 90s, 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s so vaunted and scary, is because it's junior and senior teams that have played together 3-4 years, and the chemistry is insane, and they just roll through people. And it was kind of like it was a big deal to play that team and to beat them, more so than it is now, just because of a high ranking. Again, opinion.
Let's go back to the 4 years then.
There are some people that will tell you that that's what they want. And I'll give my opinion on that here in a second here. And, you know, how about the aspect of, if you're a one and done and your season doesn't go that well, do you stay at that school? Because maybe that school is recruiting another one and done that plays the same spot as you. Like, well, do you want to compete with that? Do you want to go transfer?
So there's like that kind of aspect of like, you have to kind of figure out what you want to do or what's best for you too. And
again, just an entire environment that has been created unintentionally to sabotage, you know, these kids, but designed to sabotage unintentionally, but also, you know, with kids getting paid now and the freedom of the transfer portal, it's also, you get to create your own path. It's almost like playing my career in real life, you know, which is cool. I'm sure some of the kids enjoy it. Me personally, I wouldn't want to transfer every year, but some do. Just kind of the nature of college sports these days. Yeah. I think the NBA benefits more than college from this one and done era. Going back to the point of David Stern, you do get another year of evaluation for these kids. They're playing higher level competition. You get to see how they, you know, react to even more game scenarios, being on TV all the time. So I think the NBA benefits a lot from it, quite honestly. Not to mention that it's just another year of the hype train rolling. Like, okay, the number one kid out of high school. Okay, cool. What does that even mean? Now you see the number one kid out of high school dominating college basketball, and now it's like hashtag tank for this guy, you know, because now everybody wants him. So it gets the hype train rolling. Again, all things that benefit the NBA. The college gets just that 1 year of benefit, but the NBA gets potentially a decade plus of benefit out of that, you know? Depending on what school you are in college basketball, obviously Duke thinks it's great. They love it. They win a lot of games. They have won a national title since 2015, which is the ultimate goal for that program. But they win a lot of games, and they get a lot of exposure, and these kids keep coming there. So clearly they want to keep doing that.
There's also like the that kind of marketing aspect for the college. Like, it brings in a lot more money.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it can be a money printing machine if the process is done correctly and it's the edges are smoothed out. You know, those were mainly the discussion points I wanted to hit. I do have a final opinion to give, Caleb, but before then, I'm curious to know if you have anything else to add.
Weirdly enough, I think it should either be like, no, like, you don't need to go that 1 year college, or like 2 years. I feel like one's a weird number.
It is an odd number. I agree with that.
It is an odd number. Like, you know,
Pun
it's like,
not intended, but
it's like, why not have just like 2 years then of like, hey, let's get like just because what if they have an insanely good like college like season, but they actually kind of suck, or what if it's like they're actually insanely good, but they just have a really bad college season? Like,
mm-hmm. It's really tough because my brain goes in two directions here. Part of me believes they should just go back to 18 for the draft requirement. And then if it's obvious the kid can physically play in the league and you believe the skills will develop enough over time for him to stay in the league, draft him. See what happens. I think it could be a thing as it stands right now. Like if I'm a freshman one and done at Duke, and I had a fine season. It's not what I expected. It's not what anybody really expected. I can, if I want to, at the end of the season, I can throw my name into the draft ring. I can go to the NBA draft combine or do NBA draft pre-draft workouts, and then scouts will give their grade to me, and they'll tell me, "Oh yeah, dude, you're a top 10 pick for sure." Or they'll tell me, "You probably get drafted in the second round." I'll be like, "Well, I don't know. We don't really know. Might go undrafted." For just if you didn't know, the NBA only has 2 rounds.
oh, so you need to be 1 or 2.
Yes.
Oh, dang.
Correct. So, and then if I decide, well, I don't like my second round draft grade, I think I'm better than that, but no one's going to pick me in the first round, I can then withdraw my name from the draft, and I can come back to Duke, or I could transfer, do whatever. So part of me thinks, if you move the threshold back to 18, the high school kids that get drafted or that want to get drafted, that believe they can play, if they can, they will. And, as long as these kids, hire a good agent and the scouts aren't lying to them, maybe they can get a draft grade or they can get recommendations saying, hey, go play college basketball. You're not ready. And, maybe that, but how do you trust all those people to work in conjunction? And is that enough time? Because, colleges, they start class at a certain time. The academic calendar doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get all this evaluation done from when you graduate high school to before college starts, which is a few months, for a kid to go make that decision? Because a lot of these colleges, they want, like I said, in a perfect world, college coaching staffs want to know their roster, what their roster is going to be next year by the time the last game they play this year. They don't want any mysteries. Maybe kids haven't officially committed to their school, but they know they're going to commit, kind of thing. And again, the transfer portal throws a huge wrench into all of this. It's tough because so many things can change in a few months. And you're an 18-year-old kid, and you're still developing. Your whole mindset can change in a few months. The other side of my brain, I am a diehard college hockey fan. I go to as many UND hockey games as I can go to. And UND is a school, not as much recently as some of these Big Ten schools or a couple of schools out east that just farm up first-round draft picks. But UND certainly does get their fair share of first-round draft picks, and they have a couple on the squad this year that are very, very good hockey players. I don't know if dominate college hockey is the correct word, but they definitely are very, very good players. I've been watching college hockey for a long time. I've seen a lot of talented hockey players come through UND hockey. All these first-round draft picks that come through UND and go and have great success in the NHL, all of them stay for 2 years, 3 years. Now, again, I think there's a parallel here with the NFL in the sense that hockey's a physical sport. And you can have all the talent in the world, but sometimes you just need to be more physically developed to handle the rigor of an NHL schedule.
Yeah, because like technically you're not at your prime to your like mid to like late 20s, like
Right.
of like your actual like physical body.
Correct.
It's like I think what is it like 25 to like 20 or to like 30 is like when you should like hit your physical peak.
Right. And, college hockey is a fast game. It's faster than it used to be. It's higher quality than it used to be, but it's not as fast as the NHL. The NHL is obviously, for the most part, the best hockey players in the world. And there's one hockey player, that first round draft pick, that has come to UND, and he did the whole one and done thing. And he went to the NHL. He's played, in his defense, a lot of NHL games. He's still a pro hockey player, but nowhere near the amount of success that I think the team that drafted him thought he was going to have. And I think that's a recruiting pitch, in a sense, for the UND coaches to some of these high-level kids that come to play for them, saying, yeah, dude, you're damn good at this hockey thing, but stay a couple of years before you go move on. So I suppose I should probably give my final opinion.
Yes, I would like to hear this.
I didn't have this prepared. I've been using this whole talk to really go through it all. And I want to keep this specific to basketball because, again, every sport is just a little bit different as far as the physical demands. I want to balance the human side versus the fan side. And there's a part of me that really honestly believes that if you're going to be a star in the league at 19 years old, then you're going to be a star in the league at 21 years old. And I know college isn't for everybody, but I do think going to college and really figuring out essentially work-life balance and developing relationships with other people, learning how to talk and interact with the community, I think is very valuable. And I think it would benefit a lot of these kids because some do flame out. Not everybody becomes LeBron James, I think you can, I liked your initial thought of why not like 2 years. One is such an odd number, no pun intended. 3 years might be too long, and I think it's probably unnecessary as well. I think 2 is kind of a happy medium. I'm either between 20 and 18, and I don't like 18 just because, again, I think it's really easy for the system to manipulate these kids, and I just don't think when I was 18, there's no chance I would make the right decision. I'd have to luck into that kind of thing. Everybody's different, of course, but I really do think you go to college for 2 years or go overseas for 2 years. It doesn't matter, whichever you choose. I think that would be really beneficial. Not only do you get to continuously develop your game and polish it so you're even more ready to go play NBA basketball, I think on the off chance that you get hurt, and I know that's going to be a lot of people's comeback here, is, well, the risk of getting hurt, tearing your ACL, blowing out an Achilles, something like that. Go to the league at 18, get your NBA rookie contract, all that stuff. I get it. I understand. But if you're a competitor and an athlete, you can't be scared about getting hurt. If you're going to get hurt, it just happens, man. They're always freak accidents. It's very rarely on purpose in a competitive environment. I also think my opinion is swayed because of NIL. These kids at some schools, not all schools, of course, but some schools are getting paid some pretty decent money. It's not life-changing. If they don't know how to handle it, they will blow through it. But I think it's enough to stave over and really guarantee that rookie contract that they could get after a couple of years. And you would essentially be halfway to a college degree. To whereas if this pro thing doesn't work out, come on back. You only got 2 years left. My final opinion is I do think an age minimum of 20. I don't want to say 20 because of the whole reclassification thing. I think it's 2 years in college. 2 years in college or 2 years professionally overseas. Something like that. It's probably is where I lie. I think that just gives you the most avenues forward after that point. Because again, I maybe you get to that second, maybe you think, 2 years in college and I'm getting out of here, man. And then you get to that second year in college and you're like, well,
Well, also too, it is that aspect of like, I mean, I feel like if you got hurt in college, there's a way higher chance you get hurt in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
It's like way more intense. Then there is that aspect of like, well, this basketball thing is not going to work out. I got injured really bad, but I have 2 years done on my degree.
Right.
It's like, I just finish this out and do whatever then too.
And I do believe, like I said, most injuries are not premeditated. There's not everybody gets hurt in the Malice at the Palace, like Zion blowing out of his shoe in his 1 year at Duke, and he missed quite a few games. There's people saying, like not only should he not be with that shoe brand anymore, which Duke wears Nike shoes. So like, okay, well, don't wear Nikes. So Nike took a hit there, but he's like, just sit out, dude. Don't even risk it. You're going to be the first overall draft pick. And Zion, to his credit, came back and he wanted to finish out the season with his teammates. So credit to him. But we're seeing in the league now that Zion misses time every year with a different kind of injury. Mm-hmm. And it just, and none of them are ankle related.
Yeah.
So it's like you're just injury prone. And that's not because you spent a year in college,
It's like, you just, if you would have got injured if you would have went to the NBA right away versus that.
So that is my final thought, my final opinion. I went on I honestly thought I do this every time. I thought that was going to go way quicker, but
no, I was very interested. I did not know that you couldn't like just enter the league right away.
Yeah,
I thought that was like just they were doing that because
it was like it was essentially viewed as like a grown man's league. We're professionals, kind of mentality. Good or bad connotations there. It's up to you. But all right, Caleb, I've done enough talk here. I'm curious to see what you got.
Well, Austin, will also be talking about maybe a person or people that maybe are a little young for their line of work as well, or considered very young for their line of work.
Okay, interesting.
Austin, he's a menace
to society,
to the city of New York.
Okay.
He runs around with a mask, causing all sorts of mayhem, and burdens the good people of this city of New York.
Burdens them.
Doesn't causes help. Destruction, mayhem, and causes the police so much extra work.
He's just a troublemaker that just leaves a mess everywhere he goes.
Everywhere. Literally everywhere. Luckily, he found out how to make it dissolve. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Does he swing around everywhere?
He swings all the time. And he can stick to walls, too. He's a menace, though.
Does this have anything to do with a particular Lego statue behind you?
I didn't realize that. Austin. Oh, God. I don't want to drop this.
It's very nice.
Thank you. Today, I will, for the audio listeners, there's a thing in my lap. I will be talking about a little bit about the web crawling, mask wearing menace to New York,
Hash slinging.
I shall be talking about Spider-Man.
Dun, 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 dun.
So, I haven't done really a superhero in a long time, so I was like, there's a movie coming out in July called Brand New Day, and this New Year's, it's a brand new day, brand new year.
Yeah.
So why not talk a little about Spider-Man?
Why not?
So this will be a more of a quicker rundown, as when the movie does come out, I will be talking about him more. But I kind of want to give a little, preamble to that and have a different topic than what I've been on video games for a while. So, Austin, you know Spider-Man.
I do know Spider-Man.
For those of you who don't know Spider-Man, that's crazy, first of all. He's probably the most popular superhero. I would say it's between him, Superman, and Batman. I would personally say everybody knows Superman, but also everybody knows Spider-Man.
I'll say I don't. Probably the last time you talked about superheroes, I feel like we had that discussion.
Exactly. And me personally, I think I said Superman's probably the most popular. I think my opinion has changed now because with the movie though, I don't know. But I think everybody just knows Spider-Man. Spider-Man is 100% the most relatable out of those three.
I agree with
that.
That
Helps.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who don't know, which is crazy, Spider-Man, aka Peter Parker, was a teenager.
Don't just dox him like that.
We'll talk about a little more Spider-Man soon. Teenager who was bit by a radioactive spider, got powers. With great power comes great responsibility, and lives a horrible life. An actually horrible life. We're gonna get into that too.
Right.
So, but let's start off with the history. So, Spider-Man was created by writer, the late and great Stan Lee, and the late and great artist Steve Ditko. I think he's dead. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think he is dead though.
Just pronounced the man dead.
See, so this is a kind of thing, kind of funny. A lot of people credit Stan Lee with making Spider-Man, but there's a controversy around this. I think a lot of people would say that Steve Ditko is more involved in the creation of Spider-Man than Stan Lee. I don't know that for sure, but Steve Ditko did all the art for Spider-Man, the first comic, and I think that's what people really fell in love with. I mean, obviously the writing as well.
Am I correct in saying that detractors of Stan Lee believe that he just took other people's ideas?
Yes, which I don't agree with fully because he did write a lot of great characters that are actually his. And I mean, the writing, the story, 100% Stan Lee in Spider-Man, but Steve Ditko played such a huge role in it, and it's kind of diminished. That's at least what it is.
Gotcha.
But he debuted in 1962. He's a little bit old, or a little bit younger than I thought he actually debuted. But because he's in the Silver Age, 1962. This would be the Silver Age. There's the Golden Age, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, the Dark Age, and then the Modern Age. The Dark Age is basically just the Batman era.
Fitting.
And everybody had pockets.
Pockets.
Basically, every character in the Dark Age was written with pockets. Like, if your character didn't have a pocket on them, they were weird. At least one pocket.
Does a flannel count? Like a shirt pocket?
Yes. Deadpool came out in the Dark Age.
Okay.
So, basically every character was Deadpool. Amazing Fantasy number 15, though. This was Marvel's kind of one-offs of different heroes, and a lot of different heroes came from it. But he came from number 15, which is crazy because he eventually got his own solo series, which we'll talk about, and became definitely the most popular Marvel superhero, and it's debated on superhero overall. But what was different about him during this time, there weren't many kid heroes. He's a teenager this time. He's in high school. But if you were a kid that had superpowers in comics and during this era, you were a sidekick. You were 100% a sidekick. There, you pretty much you're the focal point. You're Robin. You're always gonna be Robin. You're
Right.
always gonna be, the secondary character who is the comic relief almost.
Mm-hmm.
That, but what was different about about Spider-Man was that he was his own hero as a teenager. He, even though he's called Spider-Man, which is kind of cool because Stan Lee wanted him to grow as a character as time went on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was pretty much the first like kid hero. Okay. Also, he chose Spider-Man because in the lore, Spider-Man didn't want to expect everybody to be a kid or to expect him to be a kid. He didn't want to call him Spider-Boy.
Barnacle Man.
So, he was given his own solo series in March of 1963. So about a year later, and it was labeled The Amazing Spider-Man #1. So what's also interesting about Spider-Man is he is not a successful person. Like, he is in the sense of he's got like a lot of like great friends or whatever, and whatever. But he's not like Tony Stark. He's
Right.
not Bruce Wayne. He's not Clark Kent. Or Bruce Wayne and Iron Man, Tony Stark are billionaires. Clark Kent is a like really good published like journalist who is whatever. Captain America's a war hero that's loved by all. Spider-Man is broke. He is sad. doesn't do a whole lot. Which is very interesting. Because it is in the same universe as the Fantastic Four too, which is the Fantastic Four are like super great heroes, and they're all rich. Like, this is essentially also like one of the first superheroes that wasn't a rich guy.
Yeah.
So,
Like going back to that whole relatability aspect.
exactly. Like, he struggles just like everybody else. Like, he has to like pay his rent somehow. He has to find ways to pay his rent. He has to find ways to make time for everybody else. He has to, he deals with a lot of like crappy stuff too. Like, his uncle. Spoiler alert for for a 100 or not 100 for a what is that, like 70?
70.
Yeah,
Over 70.
over 70-year-old comic. His uncle dies.
What?
Yeah, I know. And so, I want to do a little thing about that too. Did you know that in the original comic, Uncle Ben, there's no moment where Uncle Ben actually like dies in Peter's arms.
In the
It's-
original comic?
Yes. And Uncle Ben doesn't even say with great power comes great responsibility. That was given to him later. Uncle Ben dies off screen, off comic, off page. And Spider-Man realizes, hey, I have to do better. With great power comes great responsibility. So he says that to himself.
Interesting.
I like a lot that he says it to himself. I do how iconic the Uncle Ben, death is. It's very like, I love that too.
It's
but
very dramatic.
yes, very dramatic, and it's like, it kind of like, really like has that weight to it of, Peter is doing this, like the one person like he definitely couldn't save, like told him with great power comes great responsibility. But I do like that Peter says it to himself, and he chooses that rather than it feels like he's doing it because Uncle Ben's dead.
It's like he had an epiphany,
Mm-hmm.
and he did his own character development.
Exactly, like
kind of thing.
And that's the thing, that like in Spider-Man stories, it's kind of been like retconned a little bit that he was always meant to get bit by the spider. But I love the aspect more of the what makes him the most relatable is that he wasn't chosen by the spider. He just happened to be bitten by the spider, and he
Right.
just happened to be that good kid that just wanted to do good by people and hang out. Like that's what I love. One of the aspects I love most about Spider-Man, and so like that kind of like being retconned a little bit, kind of whatever. But people love the Uncle Ben death,
Right.
So
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
It's a funny thing to say.
Yeah. So who is Spider-Man though? Like I said, he's Peter Benjamin Parker. He's a teenager in New York.
PBJ.
Yes, PBJ, specifically Queens.
Sorry, I'm regarded. PvP. PvP.
PvP, yeah, alliteration. Basically, every character from this era had alliteration. You know, you got Bruce Banner, Peter Parker, Clark Kent. You know, I think that's Diana Troy's not, but Wonder Woman. You know,
An easy way to remember.
Wally West. Yeah, stuff like that. A lot of alliteration. And so, yeah, he is a teenager, high school, goes to high school in New York. Lives with his aunt and uncle because his parents died. His parents aren't important, really. There's some stories that try to make him important. They're not important. Don't worry about them. Ben and May Parker. Peter is a scientific prodigy. He is a genius. Now, in the Marvel universe, he's nowhere close to the smartest person, but he is extremely smart.
Mm-hmm.
He is it's a scientific prodigy. Like if he didn't get bit by this radioactive spider, he probably would have became a world-renowned scientist.
Yeah.
But he got bit. Yep, he's bit by that spider. It gives him his list of powers. His main powers are superhuman strength, speed, agility, ability to cling to walls, spider sense, which is kind of he detects danger, and one of the coolest ones, perfect equilibrium.
Mm-hmm.
That you know what that is?
It has to do with balance in some sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So like when you're like, if, let's say like you're on like a swing,
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of like brain doesn't know what to do when you keep swinging a whole lot.
Uh-huh.
So like you get a little dizzy or like your kind of like mind gets flustered a little bit. Peter doesn't have that problem because he has perfect equilibrium. So he is always in the right state of mind no matter what when he's swinging.
Never flustered.
Exactly. Yeah. He's imagine he's always perfectly balanced.
Mm-hmm. So almost like in a sense of when like he's swinging through the air, like like motion blur.
Exactly. He doesn't have any motion blur.
Yeah. Okay.
He's always aware of his
Yep.
surroundings and can basically standing still is his always.
Yep. Got it.
So he dons the iconic red and blue costume and becomes Spider-Man after Uncle Ben dies. And Uncle Ben dies, and then Peter's like, I gotta become a hero. This is what I gotta do. But he also has a normal job. He struggles to pay rent, so he tries to find rent, and he finds that, hey, I can go to J. Jonah Jameson, another alliteration.
Yep.
And I can take photographs of myself as Spider-Man. And even though J. Jonah Jameson hates Spider-Man, he pays really well for these photos.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of tricks J. Jonah Jameson into getting him to pay him for taking pictures. Now, it's kind of weird though. That's that dilemma of, hey, I want Spider-Man to be viewed as a good guy, but I really need money. I don't have a lot of time on my hands.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the best way I can do this, you know? So.
Right.
Now, Peter, he's still a high school and then eventually a college kid. And I think right now he actually is out of college finally. In some stories. But yeah, he literally half of his stories are him struggling between his like Spider-Man, his work, his school, and his relationships. You know, he struggles. He's got Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy, and some other love interests as well. But he struggles. A big part of that is his struggle to like keep all this work-life balance, essentially, together, just like everybody else does in real life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to make time for your work, your social life, your relaxing time. Peter doesn't get to relax a whole lot, you know.
Right.
But luckily, his relaxing is doing science stuff, so it kind of helps him out a little bit with working on his web fluid. Which, by the way, back to the powers, I forgot to mention, Peter does not shoot webs out of his hand. Okay,
Common misconception.
that is a Tobey Maguire thing only. And me personally, as a Tobey Maguire lover, I thought that for a very long time. It is very cool, and I think he should. I really do think he should. But it is cool that he kind of made his own web fluid and his own web shooters. It's just how scientific he is on that.
I would say it's twofold because, you know, he was bit by the spider and that's how he got these powers, and spiders obviously weave their own webs.
Mm-hmm.
So like it makes sense that he could weave his own webs. But I do appreciate the what's the right term? I don't know. I do appreciate the aspect that it's like he uses his brain to figure out how to do all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he basically makes all of his gadgets, which is a thing that I kind of don't like about the Marvel movies or like the MCU movies that they're luckily rectifying. Hopefully,
Canon.
Is that basically like Iron Man made everything for him? It's like besides his web shooters, you know, but it's like Peter should be doing all that. Like he makes this out of like old junk, electronic junk he found too. It's like he's very scrappy, very innovative, you know.
And I think going back to what you're saying about how they're finally starting to do him a little bit of justice. There's in his recent movies, he's gotten into some battles where like he outsmarts his competition like a lot.
Yeah, which actually leads me to my next point. It's a little side tangent. I love Spider-Man is just also known for beating people that most people can't beat in just weird ways. Like in the movie No Way Home, he beats Doctor Strange by like using geometry.
Yeah.
And it's like Doctor Strange beat a god.
Right.
And it's like Spider-Man beats him just in a weird way how he did that. And there's a comic of he beats the Hulk by making the Hulk laugh so hard that he turns back into Bruce Banner. Like it's just like stuff like
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah, it's just because he's not gonna out punch the Hulk. Which
right.
Spider-Man is, by the way, Spider-Man is way stronger than is shown actually because he holds back on his punches. But he's not as strong as the Hulk. But so he's like, I can't beat him by, you know, punching him. So how else do I beat him? He just makes the Hulk laugh. And
yeah.
then the Hulk gets happy.
It's like a series of David versus Goliath.
Exactly.
moments.
It's he's always the underdog and somehow always beats it or beats somebody. And also, little fun fact too, Spider-Man cannot handle Mjolnir. He's not worthy of Mjolnir.
I guess if you had asked me, I would have said no anyways. Is there a misconception that he is? Spider-Man
is considered like the best of the best when it comes to like moral standards. Like he has a no-kill rule, which also MCU, why do you kill all those aliens, man? He should not be doing that. But he has a no-kill rule, and part of Mjolnir's worthiness test is that you have to be willing to kill. Spider-Man does it. So it's a lot of people say it's more like it's not that Spider-Man isn't worthy of Mjolnir, it's that Mjolnir isn't worthy of Spider-Man.
Yeah, Mjolnir, get your hoop in a group.
It's like characters like Captain.
Get your values straight.
Like characters like Captain America and stuff, like they can lift it because they're like morally like super good, but it's that aspect of Spider-Man's not willing to kill, which is really funny. If you look at like DC versus Marvel, a lot more characters in Marvel just don't have that no kill rule. Like Iron Man and Captain America and Thor, they'll just kill whoever they want.
Blaster go.
Yeah, whereas like in DC, like Flash, Batman, Superman, you know, Green Lantern, they all have like. I think Green Lantern doesn't have one, but I know Wonder Woman definitely doesn't have a no kill rule. But a lot of these characters will have like a no kill rule. But yeah, Marvel, it's a lot more rare to have a no kill rule. All right. So, the main people in Spider-Man's life, by the way, these are going to be his allies. We have obviously first and foremost Aunt May, a
Shout
very
out.
important character.
The goat.
Peter's kind of the goat, literally the goat. She's kind of Peter's like moral basis. Whenever he's like questioning stuff, she always has some good wisdom. You know, she's a strong lady too. She's it's very like hinted at in a lot of stories that she knows Peter is Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
but she's not gonna like, she's not gonna say anything because if she knew or if Peter knew that she knows, he might not do it anymore.
Yeah.
And she believes that Spider-Man needs to be in New York, which is very strong because she just lost her husband and that her basically her son,
Right.
nephew, but like basically like her son is like risking his life every day.
Right.
So it's like crazy. Then we have Mary Jane Watson, Peter's love interest, probably one true love interest. Not his only love interest, but his that is like they are
Right.
together here. She's also very scrappy. She's often like a journalist, kind of like a Clark Kent almost, or more of a Lois Lane, I guess. Lois Lane kind of aspect of she's a journalist, but she's like not afraid to like get scrappy.
Mm-hmm.
We have Harry Osborn, asterisk, son of Norman Osborn.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Osborn. Harry is Peter's best friend. We're gonna put an asterisk there on allies.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Felicia Hardy, also an asterisk, Black Cat. She's evil, or she's not evil. She's a thief. She's a criminal, but she usually helps Peter more than hurts him. Still hurts him though sometimes. We have J. Jonah Jameson and Robbie Robertson. Robbie Robertson, also more alliteration. The two people at Daily Bugle. J. Jonah Jameson, Robert Robertson. J. Jonah Jameson is the head editor of the Daily Bugle, and then it becomes Robbie Robertson, and they're two peas in a pod with that. Now J. Jonah Jameson hates Spider-Man. Robbie Robertson doesn't mind Spider-Man at all. And there's a lot of hinting that Robbie Robertson knows that Peter is Spider-Man, but he just doesn't say anything. But yeah, J. Jonah Jameson is a huge ally to Peter. He, despite what he says in like his quips, does care for Peter. I will say there's even a comic where eventually like Peter reveals himself to Jameson, and he stops hating Spider-Man for a time because it's like that's how much he respects Peter.
Interesting.
That he doesn't. And then he there's a moment in the Tobey Maguire movies, but this is also shown in comics too, where the Green Goblin, which we'll get to in a little bit, basically like is about to like kill Jameson unless he tells him who takes pictures of Spider-Man, and Jameson will not tell him. He's like, no, I'm not gonna tell you who it is, which is like very cool because he's still a stand-up guy even though he hates Spider-Man.
Right.
We have Gwen Stacy too. Peter's like kind of first like actual love interest, like stakes wise. And then we have the Avengers. Obviously, these are not all his allies. He's just like the main allies here.
Right.
We also have Captain Stacy, who is Gwen's dad and the chief of police. I will say, I'm not gonna tell you who, but besides, let's not go over the Avengers. All of these characters, besides one, have died at some point. So, yes. Now we get to the enemies.
Very ominous.
So, I do want. I kind of listed these as where you will have. These are his main enemies, and I kind of listed here where you'll see them in the movies as well. So first off, we're gonna start with Green Goblin. Spoiler: that's Norman Osborn, Harry's dad.
Mm-hmm.
very Jekyll and Hyde-esque villain where Norman is typically, or not Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde, but more the Hulk maybe. Where Norman is a businessman, he owns Oscorp, and he's very successful, and his son is Harry. But he takes this serum, and the Goblin takes over sometimes. It's kind of like the Hulk, but the Goblin's evil, and he'll mess with Peter. Now, every villain has that kind of like main villain. Peter has two. A lot of people will say that the Green Goblin is Peter's villain, and Dr. Octopus is Spider-Man's villain. Now, Dr. Octopus
Interesting.
Is Otto Octavius. He's a scientist that, losing his, in the movies at least, losing his like ability to kind of like walk and stuff, or he needs like these arms to like capture the power of the sun, just stuff like that. He's basically just a guy who has big arms, and his tentacles control him sometimes. Sometimes tentacles don't, and he's just evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot, but he's basically like, if Norman is Peter's villain, Otto is Spider-Man's villain, just for like the techie side more.
Yeah.
And you see these characters, Green Goblin, in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, the first one, and also No Way Home. And then Otto Octavius, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 2, and No Way Home as well. Now we have the list. I try to do these in order when they appear. But these are the main villains. And I want to tell you if you can find a theme in Spider-Man's villains as well. So we have the Chameleon. He's kind of this guy who can like change into like any person. So he's always like tricking people up. We have the Vulture, who he was shown in Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming, which is, I think, one of the best like villains Marvel had. We have Sandman, who was Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 3, and he was also No Way Home. We have the Lizard, who Amazing Spider-Man 1, that's Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. He was the main villain in that. And then Electro, which was Amazing Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire's. Kraven the Hunter, he's this like Russian guy who has killed every dangerous animal, and he's trying to find like a new hunt. And so Spider-Man becomes his hunt. Scorpion, who he's shown at the end of Homecoming. Rhino, he's shown at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2. The Shocker, which funnily enough, the Shocker is in Homecoming as the guy who kind of like, when Peter puts on his suit, he punches him through the car or the bus. He's an actual like Spider-Man villain, but he didn't get shown there. We have Kingpin, who has become more of a Daredevil villain at this time, in the show specifically. But he is basically a mob boss in New York, and Spider-Man deals with him a lot because Spider-Man's more street level than not.
Yeah,
and Kingpin's a mob boss.
He's like a huge guy. Right?
He's really cool because he's kind of that embodiment of like the indomitable human spirit, but if he was evil and used it for like mob boss type things, like he has no superpowers. He's just really strong.
Yeah,
like he'll punch Spider-Man through like walls and stuff. No superpowers. He's just insane like that.
Dude's bench must be crazy.
Seriously, no, it's like he's worked himself to like physical peak. Like the like a comparison is like Lex Luthor for like DC, because Lex Luthor believes that he hates Superman because he's an alien and like humans are like the best, and he can show him how good humans are. It's kind of that aspect, but he's just like, he's more like, I want to be the best there is at everything. So yeah, Morbius. It's Morbin time. You guys remember that? And I'm just gonna leave that at that. And then Venom, Eddie Brock, or Flash Thompson if you wanna go Agent Venom wise. He's in Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 as well as the Venom movies. Take or leave the Venom movies played by Tom Hardy in those. They're all right. And then Carnage, which appeared in Venom 2. He's like the actual evil Venom.
Right.
Yeah. So those are kind of his villains. And yeah, that was kind of my preamble for when we do talk about Spider-Man later. Kind of get, a little bit of list of who he is and his villains and where you may have seen them and his allies.
I'm curious. You had mentioned that all of his villains have like a theme.
Could you tell the theme with all his villains? His main villains?
There's certainly some animals in there.
Most of Spider-Man's villains are going to be animals.
Okay.
Like the Vulture, Chameleon, Lizard, Scorpion, Rhino, Dr. Octopus.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also their powers are very what they mean too, like Sandman, Electro,
Right.
and I guess like Venom. Venom's kind of like that. But I think that Spider-Man's villains have always been on the nose
Right.
about what they are. Like there's a villain called the Big Wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally just has a big wheel machine. Kraven the Hunter, he's like a superpowered like hunter. Like he literally is a hunter.
It's very similar to Batman's villains, in a sense.
Exactly, yes. Like the Joker is a playing card Joker. Like Poison Ivy she's got plant stuff. Clayface is literally a guy made of clay. The Riddler. Yeah, he loves riddles. Like it's very on the nose.
Mr. Frost.
Mr. Freeze.
Freeze, that's what it is, sorry.
Or Captain Cold, depending on which version.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're both like very
Right, yeah.
They're very, very on the nose. Like Green Goblin looks like a goblin.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Octopus, he's technically got 8 arms and legs with his, own arms and legs. Stuff like that. The Lizard's a giant lizard. And also, I will say, all of Spider-Man's villains are like related to him in tragedy as well. Like Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, he doesn't want to be that. Oh, sorry, I forgot one villain. The new Green Goblin, Harry Osborn.
Mm.
When he learns that because it's kind of like a curse or whatever, he learns that Spider-Man killed his dad. His dad killed himself accidentally. He tries to kill Peter, and then he eventually dies saving Peter, just like in the Tobey Maguire movie, but it's a little different. They kind of did it good, but not the best. Let's see. The Vulture is literally like a guy who's like an old. Actually, no, the Vulture is probably the worst decision. On this, the Lizard, Dr. Kirk Connors. He lost his arm and he's trying to find a cure to Dr. Connors is a very good guy. He is and you would say he's an ally to Peter as well. He is very good, but he's also that Hulk. A lot of these people just turn to green guys when they're evil. When they turn evil. He tries to find a way to regrow his arm so he can use it again because he lost his arm. But instead he turns into a giant lizard. Or is it the Rhino? Actually, I don't know about the Rhino. Kingpin. Kingpin, he becomes this mob boss because he believes it's he's the best outcome for New York if there is gonna be a mob boss. It's stuff like that. Every character has depth.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Brock, kind of a jerk, but he's also because he wants to do good.
Mm-hmm.
But the Venom symbiote takes over and stuff. Actually, a lot of these villains I'm looking at, they aren't the best. Kraven just wants to kill Spider-Man. Scorpion just wants to kill Spider-Man. Rhino's kind of okay. But, just stuff like that. A lot of these villains have depth to them when you can look at it.
Certainly the most publicized ones, too.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
In the games, the Spider-Man PS4 game, definitely humanizes Dr. Octopus even more. Oh, sorry. I have one more section. Oh, silly me. I totally forgot. Speaking of Dr. Octopus, did I plan this? No.
I'm almost concerned.
Austin, there's not just Peter Parker.
Okay, yeah.
There's not just Peter Parker as Spider-Man. There's Spider-Men and Spider-Women too.
Like multiverse type thing.
Not even multiverse. Within Peter's 616 universe. But yes, multiverse as well.
Okay. Maybe this rings a very faint silent bell in the background, but you'll have to inform me.
So I'm gonna start off with the most popular one. Miles Morales.
Okay.
Spider-Man 2. No, not Spider-Man 2, by the way. Spider-Man also. I mean,
Right.
a lot of people get mad at me for that. You know, Black and Latino Spider-Man, huge for the time. People love Miles. There's the Spider-Verse movies, amazing. He's definitely like after Peter, the next one. In the games, he's in the games as well. The Spider-Man Miles Morales game, really good. He is also just known as Spider-Man. There was talks like making him like Arachnakid or whatever, or because he is younger. Like he's supposed to like be about what Peter started at when he is right now. But yeah, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Then we have the Scarlet Spider, which is Ben Reilly. Ben Reilly is a clone of Peter.
Interesting.
He just became the Scarlet Spider. Ben Reilly. Riley is Aunt May's maiden name, and Ben is Uncle Ben.
Right.
So he took that name because he didn't want to be called Peter Parker too.
Junior.
Yeah, seriously. We have the Superior Spider-Man, which is Otto Octavius, Doc Ock, after he transferred his consciousness, or he switched consciousness with Peter, and Peter died in his body, and Otto Octavius became the Superior Spider-Man because he said, if I want to be in Peter's body, he's doing it all wrong. I could become the Superior Spider-Man. And for a time, he was Superior Spider-Man. But eventually, Peter's consciousness was still a little bit inside his body, and Dr. Octopus gave up his body because the woman he loved in Peter's body was going to die, and he realized that, hey, I actually can't save her. Peter, you are the Superior Spider-Man. And then he gives Peter full control over his body again.
Interesting.
All right. We have Silk, who is Cindy Moon. She's a Korean girl who also got bit by a spider and became Silk. The name's a little... Listen, I don't like the name either, guys, for a Korean girl, but... that's her name.
Yeah.
And she's pretty popular. So this one, we have Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider. This is a alternate multiverse Gwen Stacy, where instead of Peter getting bit, Gwen Stacy gets bit. And then we have Aranya or Ana Sofia Corazon, who is a Latina Spider-Man. And she's pretty like techie too. She's got a lot of like spider bots and stuff. It's pretty cool. Alternate universe, he's now in the main continuity, and besides Peter, my personal favorite Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hare. He's the only Spider-Man who wasn't like bit by a spider, and he's also the only Spider-Man that doesn't have spider sense.
Doesn't feel like much of a Spider-Man.
He does though. Actually, was he bit by a spider? I can't remember if he was bit by a spider or not. But he does have organic webs. He is one of the only. He's like one of the only Spider-Man that has organic webs. There's like laser organic webs, and he is physically the strongest Spider-Man.
Interesting.
And he also is kind of like a vampire, weirdly too.
Huh.
Like he can like feed on people just like a spider can.
Right.
Like weirdly enough, he's like the most like a spider, but he doesn't have that spider sense. But yeah, he is physically the strongest, and he has like all that stuff. But he just doesn't. He lacks that spider sense that everybody else has.
Interesting.
I think it's kind of trying to make him different from all them. We have Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew. From what I remember, she is also a clone of Peter, but she's a female clone.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of helps Ben Reilly come to terms with him being cloned. We have alternate Spider-Man, Spider-Punk Hobby Brown. He's just cool. He's just like a rebel Spider-Man. And then I do have to mention this because I know you know who this one is. We have Penny Parker.
Okay.
You know who Penny Parker is.
The name, yeah.
Marvel Rivals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She
okay.
is basically anime Spider-Man.
Oh.
She's in a big spider suit. Like,
fair enough. Oh, yeah. She can be really annoying, can't
mm-hmm.
she? Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, those are all the other Spider-Men and women. And that concludes my Spider-Man topic.
I didn't nice. I didn't realize how many different Spider-Men / women there are.
That's scratching the surface.
Yeah.
I just want to do like the most popular ones.
I didn't realize that was like a big aspect of the whole Spider-Man story.
Oh yeah, no, it's like Marvel has 4 pillars. It's the Avengers, the X-Men, what's the second? Oh, Fantastic Four, and then just Spider-Man. Spider-Man is his own thing. Like he is huge.
Yeah. Understandable why though. I'm sure they realized how relatable he was as well and just said put our eggs in that basket.
Oh yeah, and put their eggs in that basket they did.
Yeah. That was really interesting. A few things that I was very familiar with, a lot that I did not know beforehand. So nice to get to understand the Spider-Man and Peter Parker character a little bit more.
Oh yeah, and when the movie is about to release, I will talk a little bit more about Spider-Man as well, kind of go it more in depth. But I just want to get a little preamble and start like a little more like different from video games, guys. Just to change it up a little bit. But yeah. By the way, Fallout show. I know that was the one I talked about last time. That's not released yet. It'll be that 2-parter. Show is really good so far. So yeah it's really good.
When does that new Spider-Man movie come out?
July.
Mm-hmm.
So keep your eyes peeled for the summer of 2026.
Hell yeah, we'll revisit it then. Well, Caleb, I think we're
at time.
This is about as long as last episodes again that you will eventually see.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we could probably wrap it up there. Unless you have any other things to ask.
I just want to thank you guys for watching. You can find us on
YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. Those are our main destinations for taking in our podcast in either a visual or an audio sense. We are also on Instagram, which I believe we have a new Instagram post. Is that correct?
Do we?
I thought you said you uploaded one.
Oh, no, my personal one.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Forget I said anything. There probably will be another new Instagram post once these episodes go live. And then we're also on TikTok, and yeah,
that's it.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Currently.
Balls and Blasters. Check us out. Subscribe, like, share, tell all your friends and family about us. Spread the word.
Yeah.
Spread the word.
Season 2 is here. After the about 2-month break.
Right. I do want to say that it is very we have a lot of our friends do listen quite often, and I just want to say that you guys are awesome, and we really appreciate your support and your feedback and your criticism and all that stuff.
Yeah. And we're not going anywhere either.
No,
we're not going anywhere. It's been a lot.
It's been a lot, but we do appreciate your support, and we're very thankful for it. So thank you very much. Yeah, I think that's about it. I've been AFKing an iron farm in my Minecraft world that I got to get back to, and I hope it's working.
And I've got to go to bed without any blue light because that apparently keeps you up at night.
Yes, it does.
Thanks for this ring. All right. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
The Balls and Blasters, episode 19. Bye.